Hi doctor.
Hi.
I'm Mehta. We're speaking today on Anu's show and we're going to be talking around health and what doctors think. We have a beautiful doctor here called Dr. Anantpal singh. And doctor, I just need to know, do you think stress is related to health?
Certainly, stress in our day-to-day lifestyle we are finding, in different status of society, stress has a different role to play, interestingly. And depending on the work styles, whether it's the corporate work, whether it's the other white-collar work that we have, or whether it's people working in factories, industries, depending on the light stress, pollution stress, or whatever kind of sound stress, or whatever different kinds of stress that people are exposed to. So stress works differently in different spheres of life, and spheres of work.
So can you tell me, you've been practicing for so many years, and you have a clientage which starts from an ordinary person to celebrities.
Absolutely.
So could you just, if you can broadline and tell us that, in certain ranges, this is the kind of stress that people would have. You're also working with children.
Correct.
And if you could give us a highlight on what kind of stresses you see in people face.
Essentially we find, constraints, be it time constraints or with sleep constraints, or constraints with regarding your day-to-day routines and activities. I find that with excessive amount of stress, people's apprehensive levels, anxiety levels, and tend to increase. That's why people tend to panic easily. They tend to get that leads to mass depressions. We call them something.
Wow.
Begin with mass depressions.
Wow.
Eventually, then after many years, the depression tends to come out in different ways with the OCDs. OCDs tends to be a very common disorder, and that tends to be stress related. So this we find generally more common in the high strata of society.
Okay, when you were saying mass stress and mass depression, could you just highlight on what that means?
There tends to be a substantial amount of time in which a person tends to be in denial. In denial about their issues. In denial about how they are dealing with their circumstances, etc., etc. And people find different ways and means to get out of this stress. Whether it could be drugs, could be alcohol, could be any other kind of things, etc.
So what you're saying is that people try to camouflage their stress.
Absolutely.
And they use substance. And they use things which can make them feel numb.
Otherwise, what is the logic? Why would be a sensible person in his correct mind and senses would, in correct knowledge that indulging into these things would lead them to difficulty?
Absolutely.
Since I am so closely interacting with people, whether it be from the film fraternity, or with any other sphere. So we do realize that possibly that they are strained, there's too much pressure on them to perform, and maybe there's a lot of peer pressure or whatever that might be.
So would you say that the same pressure could be on the children today, that a lot of pressure to perform?
Absolutely.
And could that be,
pressure.
And if when looking at small children, because very soon I'm going to be talking about the children. So if you can give us some highlight around them, is it that the parents are doing something that's getting them stressed out, or is there something specifically happening with children that could make them unwell?
My important message is the balance. Where the balance, that is the true balance, the correct balance, the balance that is required in the education, the balance that is required in the parents, in the parenting process, and what possibly kind of lifestyle the children should lead. Now, as far as the parenting thing is concerned, the parents need to realize that possibly they should not be passing on their stress to the children, which we are all the mirror images of our parents. We find all our interpersonal conflicts between our parents and whatever the issues that are there dividing them, or whatever they have, so they tend to have a strong impact on the children and on their mind and thinking. And as far as the schooling is concerned, there tends to be a massive lacuna in this, and the biggest lacuna is what exactly is the child seeking in his life besides education. And what exactly is the concept of education? What exactly should we be learning in our schools? If in case we're just learning only details about history and geography,